Hi, Timothy Carlson here. Today we're going back to the world of classic British cinema and noir. A few months ago I covered an import Studio Canal release of The Third Man on this channel. I'll include a link to that up above if you want to check that out. But of course, as soon as I buy the import, they announce a domestic release, and Lionsgate Limited here in America has given us a Steelbook release and the first domestic 4K Ultra High Def release of The Third Man, starring Joseph Cotten and Orson Welles. I'm going to unbox this Steelbook release and share my opinions. Nice cover art there with our hero, list of some of the cast. That looks very nice. Side of the spine, other side of the spine, back of the slipcover. We do get a pretty thick-sized book in here. From what I can tell, this is probably pretty much the same as the book that came with the Studio Canal import release that I covered on the channel earlier. There are some nice things here, production photographs, and you even have pictures of posters for foreign releases of the film. Here's the Steelbook underneath the slipcover. We actually do get a digital copy of the film, so I guess this Lionsgate Limited thing isn't totally a boutique label. They're actually still including digital codes, and that's very nice. We do get a few goodies inside the package. We get these art cards. These also came with the Studio Canal import as well. We have one of a poster for the film. We've got one of the forged passport from the film. And then these other two are books that were written by Holly Martins, the fictional author in the film portrayed by Joseph Cotten. We also get a mini poster included with this release as well. There was a poster with the import Studio Canal release as well, but it was actually quite a bit bigger. Again, this is a smaller steelbook, so it's understandable that have to include something smaller in here. This includes the film on 4K Ultra High Def, and a Blu-ray copy of the film was included as well. And here's the art we get in the Steelbook underneath the discs and inserts. Carol Reed's celebrated British noir, The Third Man, is widely regarded as the greatest British film of all time. Brilliantly scripted by Graham Greene and set to Anton Karas' evocative zither score, this justly celebrated classic is further enhanced by Robert Krasker's Academy Award-winning cinematography and Orson Welles in one of his most iconic roles. Holly Martins, a naive writer, arrives in Vienna to meet his old friend Harry Lime, but finds Lime has been killed in a suspicious accident. Martins, too curious for his own good, hears contradictory stories about Lime's death, and as witnesses disappear, finds himself chased by unknown assailants. Complicating matters are sardonic Major Calloway, head of the British forces, and Lime's mistress, Anna Schmidt. Will Martin's curiosity lead him to discover things about his old friend that he'd rather not know? I definitely love classic film and classic noir. Old school black and white films I certainly have a soft spot for, and old school British cinema equally so. The Third Man, of course, was directed by Carol Reed, one of the most famed and esteemed of all British filmmakers. And he put together an amazing cast and amazing production here to bring this story to life. The film, of course, is based on a story and screenplay written by Graham Greene, and everything comes to the big screen very nicely. Production quality is top-notch, and of course, you can't help but love the cast. Joseph Cotten, I think, has always kind of been left in the shadow of Orson Welles, because it seems like almost everything he did involved Welles to some extent, and he kind of got left in the shadow. But Cotten was a phenomenal actor and appeared in some great films over the years, and this role, Holly Martins, an American author visiting Vienna to learn about his best friend who has apparently died under mysterious circumstances, may very well be his finest role. Orson Welles appears in the film in more of a supporting capacity. I can't really go too into Welles' role without going to spoiler territory, but suffice to say, he does give his usual excellent performance and certainly makes an impression. The supporting cast also includes a brief part by Bernard Lee, the man who would later portray M in the James Bond franchise. And speaking of the James Bond franchise, Guy Hamilton, who would later direct several of the films, actually worked on this movie as an assistant director. The city of Vienna almost becomes a character unto itself with its unique post-war setting, of course divided into different sectors following the aftermath of World War II. and you never know quite what's going to happen. The movie runs for about 105 minutes, and despite that, it's a very interesting character-driven piece that's never boring or feels like it's dragging. It's one of the most perfect of all classic British films, noirs, everything in between. One of my personal favorites, and I'm finally glad to see that this one got a domestic 4K release. Of course, they announced the 4K domestic release right after I shell out the money for the import, but that seems to be the story of my life. And from what I can tell, this release is basically identical to the release that was used for the Studio Canal 4K import. That's based on a 4K master that had previously been used for some Blu-ray releases, and this is how every black and white film on 4K should look. The addition of Dolby Vision really helps out with deep dark black levels and shadow detail, but you have bright, vibrant whites and shades where they're needed as well. A lot of people wonder if 4K actually helps black and white films, and this movie is absolutely proof of that. It is a solid-looking disc, and I have no substantial complaints. All the natural film grain's intact, and there's clearly no unwanted noise reduction, digital tinkering, or anything in between. As far as bonus features go, again, this seems to be the same supplement package that appeared on the import Studio Canal release, so there's a lot of older featurettes. There's stuff on restoring the film, on the score. There's even an alternate voiceover introduction to the film, and a commentary track that includes some of the people that worked on the movie, including Guy Hamilton. I'm guessing that commentary track is probably vintage, because I assume a lot of those people probably are no longer with us anymore. So it is a great package, and I think any fan of this movie, or classic cinema, or noir in general, should be pretty satisfied with what they have here. Probably the only major thing that's missing from the Studio Canal import is a booklet that featured the annotated screenplay. Again, though, this is just a smaller Steelbook package, so it stands to reason they couldn't fit that in here. Overall, I think Lionsgate Limited has given us a pretty solid package, and I'll certainly be getting some more releases from this line as time goes on. How about you? What do you think of The Third Man? Do you think it's one of the greatest British films of all time? Do you think it's one of the greatest noirs? Do you think it's Joseph Cotton's best performance? Maybe even Orson Welles' best performance? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content, because I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.